guys, so today I'm going to make a beat from scratch and show you guys my process on how I make guitar-based beats in Logic Pro. You know what? I think I'm going to do something in like 6/8 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I like that hi-hat. Make sure that's all quantized and good. 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Definitely want to add some reverb there. I love this Hitsville reverb plugin I have. It models the Hitsville recording studio, which is like a famous Motown sound. Now let's do a kick. I like that. Feeling like a delay on the hi-hat would be cool, so I'm gonna pull up Echo Boy. So we have a half note triplet hi-hat here, and let's hear how that sounds. So it just gives it a little bit more bounce. Ooh, I like this hi-hat roll, so I'm gonna add that. This is a cool little cymbal right there, so I'm gonna add that. And then now I want to add a crash, and that'll basically finish out my drums. Nice soft crash there. Alright, so that's a basic drum pattern right there, and now I think we're going to add some guitar. So for my guitar tone, I'm using the Corey Wong Archetype by Neural DSP. It's one of my favorite guitar plugins, and I love it for wah tones and just clean, even edge of breakup tones for electric guitar. So I'll play a little bit so you can hear kind of the preset I came up with. So I really love this preset. It's one of my go-to guitar tones. And so now I'm going to just kind of play around with chords until I find a good chord progression over this drum loop. So that's kind of the main idea, and let's see if we can play the drums and come up with a good groove around the drums. We kind of have our structure for the beat. We have our drums and we have the main guitar chord progression. And now's the fun part. We get to add some cool, extra riffs and cool stuff to make the beat sound interesting. So now I'm going to mess around with probably the Mateus Asado Archetype by Neural DSP again, and come up with maybe some accent riffs and some lead melodies to go over this beat. So I found this preset, which is really ambient, and I found that when I kind of ride the volume knob, you can create these really awesome swells. So I'll show you real quick. So I think I'm going to do that and layer that under the chords, and I think that'll be an interesting texture. So let's see if we can do that. We kind So I'm going to isolate that so you can hear it in more detail. It sounds really, really cool actually. And then I'm going to play it with the other guitar part. All right, I found this pretty cool tone right here that I think would be really cool for some lead lines. So let's mess around with that. I don't want to add anything too crazy because we want to leave room for the vocalist, but I added a quarter note triplet delay on this, and I think it sounds really, really beautiful. So let's see if we can mess around and maybe just add some simple riffs to accent some of these chord changes. All right, I think those are some pretty cool accent riffs. So now I'm gonna maybe make it sound a little bit more interesting and add a pan man to it. So that's kind of panning around the stereo horizon. So what I like to use is the pan man plugin from Soundtoys, and you can just hear how it's gonna move those riffs around and make it more interesting. All right, so I think we have our guitar down, we have the chords, we have some cool swells, and we have some cool lead riffs. So now I think we gotta record some bass guitar. So for the bass guitar tone, I'm gonna use the Corey Wong plugin as well. He has some cool bass tones in this. All right, so our 4 bass notes are A, G sharp, C sharp, and F sharp. So I'm going to play a really simple bass line, keep it simple for now, and then maybe we can come up with something a little bit more complicated later on. All right, so we have our bass line down, and what I like to do on bass is use the plugin called the Bass Rider plugin. This basically writes the volume fader for the bass automatically for you, so you get a more consistent level out of the bass, which is really important in my opinion. So as you can see, it's writing that volume fader, so you have more consistency. It allows the bass to sit in the mix a little bit better. So now we got bass, we have guitar, and we have drums. I think the next step is to add some maybe cool vocal chops. So I'm going to take a look in Arcade and see if we can add some cool flair and ear candy to make this beat a little bit more interesting. So let's do that real quick. And before we get into the vocal chops, another thing I like doing just to get more punch out of my drum samples is to use a transient shaper. And one of my go-tos is something that maybe a lot of you guys will have if you use Native Instruments products, and that's the Transient Master from Native Instruments. I like just increasing the attack, and it just adds a little bit more punch to my snares and my kicks. So I'll show you that real quick. So right now it's at 0%, so it's not doing anything. I'm gonna isolate the snare, and here's it at 30%. So it just adds more attack. Yeah, it's louder, but I think it just adds a nice punch to the snare, and I'll probably add it to the kick as well. That's with it, and this is without it. So a cool way of increasing the presence of the snare without, just increasing the volume of it. Yes, it's louder, but it's more punchy, and I like it that way. And we can add that to the kick as well. Sweet. And especially like in this era of producing, having punchy drums is really, really important. So that's one of my go-tos, and definitely get one in your arsenal if you don't have one already. Guys, so next step, I'm going to try to find a cool vocal sample in Arcade, and see if we can add some, cool texture and ear candy to the beat to make it sound more interesting. So let's mess around with this. Kind of like that. I like that as a transition, so let's see if we can record that. Cool. I really like that actually. Right, so I added a nice triplet there, delay, to just give it some more life, and here's how it sounds in context. And I'm going to plant that pretty far in the mix. This is just texture. I still want to leave a lot of room for the artist to sing over it. So just ear candy and just texture for the beat so far. That's pretty much the full beat. It's got the guitar, drums, bass, and vocal chops. I'm going to let it play, and you can let me know in the comments what you would add to it to finish it off. Alright, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think of this beat in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.